Welcome to another superb tutorial, and first of all, thank you so much for giving your love and support to this channel. And this channel has crossed 1000 mark recently, so I'm really happy, really excited and really grateful to all of you who have left your comments, who have spent your precious time watching this tutorial, encouraging me with your comments, your shares and your likes. So keep showering your love on me, and I will keep on creating more and more content for you. And today we are going to learn how to create this photo manipulation in Adobe Lightroom and Adobe Photoshop. So first of all, we are going to do the basic editing to this image, and then we are going to take this image into the Adobe Photoshop and we will manipulate this image over there. So let's get started. So first, let's go to the develop module in the Lightroom, and first we'll go press the auto button and bring down the contrast, open up the shadows a little bit so that we get some dynamic range, increase the clarity a little bit and come down, increase the sharpening, press Alt or Option, drag this masking slider up to here where we see the edges, increase the noise reduction a little bit, enable profile correction and remove chromatic aberration. And let's straighten this out. So we'll select this crop tool and we'll select this straighten tool from this angle, and we'll click and drag on this line and we'll press enter, and this is going to make this image straight. And now we'll going to export this image into the Photoshop. So I'll right click and select export, and I've created a preset which is going to open this in Adobe Photoshop, or you can simply right click and select edit in Adobe Photoshop. So both way are easy, you can do whatever you like, and it's going to launch. You can see right now Photoshop. Let me just close this image, the Lightroom, and let me just see. Now this has been imported, and now first of all we are going to make a selection of this area. So first of all, let's press Ctrl J or Command J to create a duplicate copy of it, and using the quick selection tool which is over here, or you can press W on your keyboard and start painting on the girl. And I'm going to make a selection of the girl, and if you miss out certain part you can press Alt and quickly, I'm very quickly doing this. Quick selection is very helpful, it's very fast and it's very useful to make the selection. But you can use the quick selection only when you have the contrast in the from the background and the subject. Otherwise it's not going to give you the perfect result. And you can see I'm just making the rough selection over here, and I'm going to take the hairs as well into the selection and press Alt to remove certain part of this. And once I have made the basic selection, what I will do, I'll zoom in and press Alt and remove it from here. And what I will do, I will come over here and select and mask. I'll press this option, and this is going to open up this over here, and from this view mode I'm going to select on white, and that way it is going to show me on the white the real result. I can adjust the opacity of this background and zoom in, and using this refine as selection tool I'm going to paint on the hairs, and that's going to mask out these hairs. And over here we need to check this smart radius and increase the radius, and only then it's going to work properly. And now we'll paint over here and make sure that you select this refine as brush tool, not this brush tool, because earlier I was using the brush tool and that's why it was not showing us any difference. Okay, and now if I'll paint, you can start to see that it has started masking out the background, and we have to paint number of times to get the result, and it does a very pretty decent job after this recent update. And let me remove it from here, and this is fine. And over here we have missed the selection, so we'll press Alt and paint over here, and let's see if we can get it back, or let's paint over here. Yes, now we have got this back, and if we want we can paint on this area as well. Let's see what the result we get, and press Alt, make a selection. I think this one is fine, we don't need to go into that, and rest of the image is good. And we have chosen the feather of 0.4, smooth 16% and 7% contrast, and shift edges to -15%, and over here new layer with layer mask, and I'm going to press OK. And now it has, you can see it has created a new layer mask with new layer. And what I'll do, I'll just turn this underlying layer off, and you can see now we have got the subject extracted. So what I will do, I will now just open up this another copy which we have created just, and now we are going to blur the image. So we'll go to the filter and we'll choose the blur gallery and choose the tilt shift, and we'll click and drag it over here and adjust its setting to something like this. And over here we'll drag this down as well, and we'll increase the blurriness to something like this. I think this much is fine, or if you want you can go even up to that level, but I think over here is fine. But we have forgot to do one thing which is very important, so let me just cancel it and let me show you what we have forgot. You can see over here we have this girl available over here, and that's why we were having some weird result. So for that purpose we'll choose the lasso tool, make a rough selection around the girl, and then we'll go to the edit and choose fill, and from this drop down menu we'll select the content aware and press OK. And what it is going to do, it is going to fill this based on the content around the subject. So let's see what result we get, and you can see now it has removed that and that girl, and we got simple background. And now we can easily blur the background, and then we'll have the better result. So now turn on this girl layer on, and so that we get to see where we are placing or from where we are blurring the image out. Okay, all right, so we'll go to the filter and blur gallery and choose the tilt shift, and we'll again click and drag it down something like here, drag this point as well over here, drag this one as well, and now we are going to increase the blurriness, and you can see now we don't get that weird result or weird edges around the girl. All right, so now this is looking fine, and if you want you can drag this up a little bit so that you get this kind of a result, but if you don't want, just drag it down, because that much is just fine. Okay, and you can adjust this line as well, and you can adjust the light bokeh as well from here, but there is no need since we don't have much lights or much result of that kind in the background or subject or bright subject which can give us bokeh. So we'll press OK, and it is going to process, and then we'll get the result. And you can see now we have got this kind of a result. So if we just turn this off and on, you will see what result we have got. Okay, and now we'll choose this layer mask and we'll zoom in, and as you can see the legs are not looking good. So we'll choose the brush tool, right click, choose the soft edge brush with 0 hardness, and make sure the opacity is around 50% and with white color, and make the size of the brush smaller and paint over here. And now we have got the real result. All right, so this layer is now shown like this. Okay, so we get the real result. And now what we are going to do, we are going to add a little bit more shadow over here. So we'll create a new blank layer, we'll zoom in and press D on default color for default color over here. So we get the black color. Press 1 on our keyboard to turn the opacity of the brush as 10% and paint over here. But I think we need to take it up, and yes, we can paint a little bit over here as well. And if you think that this is too much, what you can do, you can lower down its opacity to something like this. Okay, and now let's add some lighting over here. So for that purpose we'll go to the gradient and select a gradient, and we'll click on this gradient and we'll select any of the gradient which has 3 colors. So over here we'll be selecting the black color, and in the middle we will take, I think this is fine, red or something orange, and the yellow, and we'll press new so that this preset is available for us for the next use, and press OK and change its layer style to radial and press reverse, and we get this kind of a result. So we'll drag it over here and we'll press OK, change its layer blend mode to screen, and but this is not looking good, so let's try overlay or soft light or hard light, but I think we have to go for screen only. And with the, we'll just double click it, and with the move tool we can drag its position and we can scale it up to get this kind of a look. And let's adjust its position, but this is very light color, background is very light, so this is not looking good. So I'm just cancelling it and deleting it because it's not looking good. So instead what we can do, we will create another layer and change its layer blend mode to hard light, and using the brush tool we are going to select this orange color and make sure the opacity is 100%. We'll zoom in, press or paint over here, and then press Ctrl T, Command T, and then we'll expand it to something like this so that we get little bit light. And let's try to change its layer blend mode to linear dose, but linear dose is not looking good, so we'll go for the hard light only. And now we'll add the same light over here as well, but this time we'll go for lower opacity, so that would be around 20%, and I'm going to paint in on this side. Okay, so on this side it has to be much darker, and on this side it should be lighter. And we'll create another layer, change its layer blend mode to soft light, and over here we are going to use this blue color, so we'll choose this color and we will paint on the ground little bit like this. And you can see how it looks before and after. Or let's try to change this layer blend mode to overlay. Overlay is also looking good. Or let's go for hard light. No, hard light is not looking good, so let's go for soft light and come to the adjustment and select this curves adjustment, and we'll create a S curve, slightest of S curve, and this is going to boost the colors and the contrast in the image. And from this drop down menu we'll select the red channel, add red little bit in the highlights and take it away from the shadows. And then green, let's try to add little green in the highlights, take it away from the shadows. And let's go for blue, add blue in the shadows and take it away from the highlight, and we get this kind of a effect. And now what we can do, let's come to the adjustment layer and let's select color balance tool, and let's add little bit cyan in the mid-tone, or let's cyan and little bit green, and we can add little bit blue and change it to the shadows. In the shadows as well, add the blue, cyan and green, or let's take it towards the magenta. Magenta is also looking good, and change it to the highlights, add redness, much redness, little bit more redness in the highlight, and add little bit green and yellow. And you can see the result by turning it on and off. Now it's looking much better. And now we need to make this area a little brighter, so we'll create another layer, change this layer blend mode to linear dose, and with the orange color let's paint over here with 100% opacity. Press Ctrl T, Command T, and by pressing Shift and Alt let's scale it up, so we get this kind of a light. So we can expand it to this size and press enter. So this is how it looks after that, and you can see light is looking much better over here. And let's add some vignette effect over here. So we'll go to the gradient, again select gradient, and this time we are going to select this black to transparent gradient and press OK. And let's change its angle to something like this, and let's scale it up little bit, or let's make it straight, something like this, and press OK. Change its layer blend mode to, let's say, overlay or soft light, or just go for the normal. Alright, normal is fine. Just double click it and click and drag it to something like it, like this, and press OK. Now select this mask and using the black color, and make sure the opacity is around 20%. Start painting over here on this area. So wherever we are going to paint in, it's going to take away its effect from that area. Alright, so we want little bit of vignette effect. You can see not that much. Earlier it was looking like this, and now this one is looking like this. So we can paint little bit more over here. And now we are going to finally sharpen this image. So we'll press Ctrl Alt Shift E or Command Option Shift E to create a stamp copy. Then we'll go to the filter, select other and select high pass, and we'll choose the radius of around 1.5 or 1.3, and we'll press OK. Change this layer blend mode to linear light, and you can see by zooming in it has made this image much sharper. Okay, so let me just go full screen and show you the result. So this is our final result, and we have started with this image, and with just little bit of editing we have created this creative photo manipulation effect in Adobe Photoshop. So thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please let me know in the comment section below, and if you liked today's episode, please hit the like button.